lot of projects finishing at the moment. They're all full tile as well, so it's been a bit of a push. Because we have jobs all over the shop, we service all the way up to, like we've got one at Hervey Bay we're doing at the moment. It's a massive geographic. If you compare it to like Europe, it's multiple countries. the geographic we cover. That's how big Queensland is though. But there's always once one finishes, another two start. That's the way it's been going the last year or so. So just keeping on top of it all.
So this is an acrylic window. People always think these are glass, but they're not. The reason being is one, it's a lot lighter. This thing's still over 500 kilos, but if you're looking at glass, it's going to be almost double the weight. Secondly, you can mold acrylic because it's plastic. Technically, you can shape it and curve it. Third, it has 92% clarity. So if you're looking at glass, it's actually not going to give you the same clarity as an acrylic window does. So overall, when it comes to marine environments, acrylic is a better option. That being said, this is all engineered. This is 90mm thick acrylic. So this all has to be rebaited into the shell with steel sitting either side to hold it in. And then it's actually either side, it goes to about here and then down to the bottom, is rebaited into the pool. So the shell's holding that in, because obviously all this water pressure is going to be pushing against it, so it can't be going anywhere. And the way they're installed is, you'll see this one has a wet side and that says dry side, but they're slightly bowed towards the inside and actually allows the water to come from and push pressure on it to make it perfectly square. Overall, acrylic versus glass has a lot more benefits. You can use glass, don't get me wrong, but you know, if you scratch this, you can buff it out. If you scratch glass, it's gone, especially if you crack it. I think it looks pretty dope though. The reason we're doing it here is we got this window viewing into it, so when you're sitting out there looking in, you'll be able to see the logo of the whole building. These are about once glazed and these 3 times glazed, and they're put into a kiln and fired on. That way they last underwater forever. The only thing is with this, it can only be done on a porcelain tile, so if you have a ceramic tile or something else, it won't work. A lot of the times you can send this off to be made, but this was done locally in Sydney. The difference being you can actually take the tile you wanted and send them your logo and get it printed directly on it, whereas the other ones are usually a small 20 or 30mm mosaic that's printed in. So it's custom made and it looks awesome.
In the last 12 months, I think we've expanded probably 5 times. We're talking purely revenue. Biggest lesson I've learned is to relinquish control, because I'm a control freak by nature. So it was really hard for me to let go of a lot of responsibility in certain jobs. Something I was pretty bad at, to be honest, was delegating. Because I would delegate, then I'd go on site and say, hey, make sure you got this, this and that. Have you done this, have you done that? I kind of just made a rule to myself to step back, and what happens between my delegation of that task and the end result is none of my business, the way I see it. And I found that works really well, because every time now it's delivered, and we're most of the time before the delivery date. My biggest lesson is I was getting in my own way. So delegation is a skill you have to learn.
Big thing to consider is where you place these skimmer lids and skimmer suction points in the pool. It has to be to the point where the returns to the pool are pushing the debris towards the skimmer. So if you just place the skimmer randomly throughout the pool and the returns are on the same side, and what I mean by returns is where the water is returning to the pool, the jets, it's not going to actually do any skimmering or, you know, clear the debris and leaves. This is always an afterthought, because we need a huge cavity to fit the skimmer in, and it always comes outside the pool blockwork or pool shell in the rooftop pool. It's important to figure out where you're going to put that skimmer in relation to the structural elements, because there's never enough room for them. This is called an eyeball. That's what we call it in pool world. So you got the pipes in the pool, and you got the spring load in here, and then that's the eyeball where the water comes out. You'll see them on every pool. Now you can actually change the direction of the flow with that. I don't recommend playing with this in public pools, but that's why they're called directional eyeballs, because you can actually change where they flow to. So when I was talking about the skimmer before and making sure debris flows to the right places, that's how you can achieve it. But these are cool little plastic things. You can get stainless steel ones. Long-term plastics going to be the most durable and last the longest.
3 years ago, just happy to win any job, to be honest. So managing growth, pains, and having to say no that's one of the hardest things I've had to do. Like, I'm a bit of a people pleaser in that regard. I don't like letting people down. If they've been asking me to do a job and we've worked together for a long time, I'll always support my people I've worked with for a long period, but there's certain new contracts coming through where I've had to say no, even if I'm going to make a good profit, purely because I don't have the capacity at this point. And it takes 10 years to build a good reputation and only one job to ruin it. So I think that's been the hardest thing to manage, and the hardest thing to do is say no sometimes.
And once we're finished tiling here, we'll cut them off flush, and then we put in these little heads which actually pop up, and each time they pop up they rotate 45 degrees, and every time they do that they push it to the main drain. So basically this whole pool is self-cleaning. The way it's designed is it's sent off to America. They come up with a design with how the heads are going to work and the water flow, and then the pool's shaped towards that. So you'll never have to vacuum this pool, it'll just run itself. It also helps regulate water temperature because it spreads water through the pool more evenly. It's a pretty cool feature, but it's expensive. The spa as well has full in-floor cleaning system. That's what these heads are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. We'll blow all the debris into the main drain and clean it up. Adding it to a spa is another feature because it's so hard to get cleaners in here. Like you don't have a skimmer for the spa normally to link it to. The heater is the hidden enemy that we've got to fit in here, which we actually planned from day one. So this is going to sit here and blow out into a screen and still have access through to the plant room. So we've got enough height here, enough width. This is a 28 kilowatt heater, which will heat both the pool and spa, which is quite technically hard to do because the spa is not flowing into the pool. However, we've done well here to get this in and hide it away so you're not seeing it or hearing it. Well, it's not a problem, it's an opportunity, but basically I'm in short-term loans because the way it works is I work on a job and I put the pool shell in. So say I put that in on the 6th of the month, say it's the 6th of January, I cannot claim for that work done until the 25th of January. And then they won't process that claim until the month after, and they won't pay that until the 30th of the month. So say I complete something January 6th, I won't get paid till February 30th. So if I put out 100 grand on January 6th, which is every day of the week I do that, I don't get that back plus profit until the 30th of the next month. So, you're talking 5-6 weeks of cash just up in the air. And that's the way every commercial build works. That's, if you want to be in this game, that's the game you got to play. The biggest, the biggest thing to consider in the growth is cash flow and how to manage that. And it's something I've managed to, get around pretty well when it comes to payment terms and percentage of claims to cover me and the builder, so it's fair. But as you take on more work, I'll be doing more turnover this month than I did the whole of last year. So managing that is very important to cash flow forecast, and that's where real business skills come in. It's not just winning jobs and hoping for the best anymore. It's doing my cash flow forecasting, total cash coming in and out, and pitching that 6 months forward now, and finding any pinch points or pain points that I might have upcoming. And obviously you've got options for that. There's a couple of things you can do, which I haven't personally done, but I know people who have, which one's called invoice loans, where if you have an invoice owing and it's a tier 1 builder, they'll actually loan against that. And you pay interest on it, but it will cover you in the gap. Say you got assets in the business, you can get a hard asset loan against that. Like you got a machine or an operating trucks or anything, you can get a loan against that if you own them outright. You can also just get generic business loans. If your numbers look good on the books, you can get loans from the bank. What I've got is an overdraft facility if I need it with the bank, because I've got good numbers and good books. So they're comfortable enough to provide me with an overdraft if I need it, which handles my cash flow at a low interest rate. So that's something to consider in this game. Cash is king, as everyone says, but it is also, cash is the killer that will get you if you don't plan for it. So that's something I've really honed in on this year, and I look at it every day. Vision for Nature Pools, to be the largest commercial pool builder in Australia. Doing rooftop pools, massive commercial pools, huge lagoon, backyard pools around Australia, and eventually
you know, expanding worldwide. That being said, it's step by step. With Queensland alone, I'm overwhelmed with work as it is. So at this point, just serving what I have and then slowly expanding and expanding my footprint.